Welcome in to the new members and to the old members that have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. In this morning's update, we're going to take a look at the XRP technical analysis. We're also going to take a look at Bitcoin. As Bitcoin's up 1.73% right now to 1,107 points up. The interesting part is we're coming up to a major resistance at 66,600, as that was a major pivot point with Bitcoin. If we push past there, we have the pivot level of 67,381. And right now we're bouncing off the 200-day. We came exactly down to our technical move where we diagnosed this down here. And unless we break down this uptrending support, this could cap the downside momentum. And if the bulls can take control, this is where it would happen. If not, you're going to have a drop all the way down to around 57,000, it looks like. And the stopping point right now would be 60,690. So basically, if you're watching, the importance of holding this level is that this inverted head and shoulders pattern has not been invalidated yet. Left shoulder, head. And now this could be a gigantic right shoulder. But if it breaks that support, it's going to invalidate this inverted pattern. So boom, boom, boom. So and then it needs to go out. So you can't break this neckline support is what it's on right. That inverted right arm, this pattern has to hold. So resistance, support, resistance, support. This has to break and eventually push out. The technical target to the top side would be 79,377 if this plays out properly. If not, this is going to pull down and it's going to show the M-topping reversal. And then it's going to have to hold the broadening wedge support for Bitcoin. Otherwise, this pattern would rotate down in a pretty abrupt way. And it could be a catastrophic drop if this didn't play out properly. So we haven't back tested the broadening wedge support after it was resistance on this parabolic breakout. So to me, it makes the most sense if we do break this target that 60,690 likely wouldn't hold. And it would come back down here to retest that broadening wedge breakout resistance level as support for the first time. So that's what I would be anticipating if Bitcoin does break down. So consider that when you're watching Bitcoin. And then for XRP, the drop down last night, I don't think is a surprise for anybody. We had an overzealous wick. We established this zone. And if this uptrending support is lost here at 57.9, we had a wick come through, but right now it was just a wick to 568. Pulled immediately back up in the 4-hourly time frame. And now we're still bouncing off of this. If we were to lose this, we do have a technical target. We can put it over here just so it's easier to see. But that brings us into a pretty interesting fly zone here. So I put it there because that seems to be the apex of this pattern. But in any event, if it breaks down, you're looking at that 50-cent mark. That 50-cent mark is going to come into play if this breaks down. And if this pattern plays true, this can get us right back up here towards that 72.2 cent, 73 cent area. And that's the handle resistance. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. A lot more than what just meets the eye here of, oh, it's down a few percent or it's up a few percent daily. We're still working on this cup and handle pattern. We're very much within the bullish handle right now. It's just a matter of, are we going to break back up to handle resistance or break down to handle support? A break up or break down out of this small formation puts us either at pattern resistance of the handle or pattern support of the handle. So it's handle resistance or handle support we're going. We're in the mid-tier consolidation. And really, there's not much more we can do until this breaks down or breaks up. Because if it breaks down, we know where we're going. And it's almost anticipating that. And if it breaks up, we know where it's going. Right now, you're on the bottom side. Right now, you're on the bearish side of town. You need the bulls to step up. So a lot to watch out for today. A lot to continue to watch out for as the XRP Bitcoin pairing is down 1.79% to 879. And we're still waiting for the, are we going to break down to around that it's about 800 to 816, or do we break up to 1069? As of right now, it's looking more on the bearish side of town. But with that being said, there is a very small possibility here that we could have created a W reversal. Maybe not a very small, but that could be a W reversal, and maybe that's how we push out of here. But we need to not lose that. If we lose that, we know it's a problem. And that could actually bring you all the way down. Because if you look at these, let's measure this to full potential now. Now that we see the evolving pattern. If this plays the full potential on the pairing, you could come up to, it's actually a little bit deeper, 1099 on a topward push. But if the bears remain in control here, you could fall right, this is what I'm saying, we could fall right outside of these patterns. If this happens, you've lost that entire structure. This would be honestly, this would be very interesting. I'm going to get rid of some of these. Forget that. Forget that. This could be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. If you're a fan of XRP and the Bitcoin relation, a drop like that down to 709 doesn't necessarily mean XRP fell off. It could mean that XRP's dropped down to 53 or 50 and it's reconsolidated. But Bitcoin has dropped from 66 to 57. So you could be looking at a 9,000 point Bitcoin drop and about anywhere between a 5 to 8 cent drop for XRP here. That's what this is signaling. If Bitcoin can't hold on and the bears lose control here, the market's looking at a little bit of turmoil here. The Bitcoin dominant chart's at 53.8%. And this, if it plays true, is suggesting that it can push up to 57%. If this did play out like that, this would be a problem for altcoins. And altcoins could drop faster than Bitcoin if this is the case, if we're dropping. If we're rising, it means that Bitcoin's going to have the next leg up quick, and then altcoins will follow. So there's a lot to look at here. The odd part is on this extension and the expansion zone to continue, it's actually looking like it wants to break up. And if it were to break down out of this, it would be a pretty substantial drop percentage-wise. But as of right now, we're on the top side, so we got to look at it that way. XRP's market cap is sitting at 32.06 billion, down 76 million or 0.24%. It's always good to look at the market cap so you can see where it's sitting in relation to the formation. And right now we can see we're in a danger zone. That expansion zone to the bottom side is literally a danger zone, because if you break to the bottom side, then you have no choice but to start measuring this channel. We can see you've hit resistance to support in many spots here, so it's very apparent that if this were to fall out, these are bearish reversals. So if you look at the XRP market cap, I mean, what would it do if it came down to 22.6 billion? Better yet, what if that channel ends up just breaking all the way? I mean, there's a lot to talk about here. So if we can't get back on top of this, you're looking at a pretty substantial drop to 22.65 billion. Conversely, if you break up from the bottom of the support, you're coming all the way back up to 43 billion. So we're in a make it or break it moment for XRP right now. XRP and crypto, especially for what we're watching, XRP is at a make it or break it moment. There's no two ways about that. XLM, if we look at it at 12.9 cents, has fallen below the top resistance area, which means we've now fallen back in and have to pay very close attention to this. You have to pay attention to this because, yes, we had that top, this formation is forming, but it keeps falling back within here. So I put all my relevance into here. I put it all into here. All of it. So if we were to break up bullishly, you could come up here right around 17.4 cents. The problem is right now is if we got a little bit of bearish momentum here and we have to come back down to support on all these patterns, we can see what exactly this would entail. And right now for XLM, you're talking about a differential here. We're not. That's if you break down from both levels. But in this shorter time frame, we can clearly see that this is being evolved here. We had a short-term pattern attempt to break out. And right now we're going to see if these are just consolidations or if like XLM has to come down and we're just going to consolidate, or you fall out of these. Because if you fall out, it has ramifications here across the board. If you break out, it has very nice gains to be made. But as that is being said, we also have to pay attention to the possibilities of a massive breakdown here. So if we're watching, though, from the other perspective, I'm going to do the intro real quick. Make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this update. By you hitting that like button, YouTube recommending this, we pop up through the algorithm, and that means that if you're scrolling through YouTube, whether you're a new or older user, this content from the station will pop up, and you'll be able to see the information. If you are paying attention and you're in the precious metal sector, gold's flat, silver's up another 2.2%. If you all remember, I put out First Majestic at $5.30 for more silver exposure, $5.26, whatever, close enough, for silver exposure. And again, it's up another 7.3% today. I'm up over 34% now in the past several weeks. On First Majestic. Newmont, I put out a buy alert at $33.89. It's up pretty nice now, almost $4 a token or a share. And B2 Gold, I put a buy alert out at $2.44, and it's up another 2.59% today. Precious metals, commodities is ripping it for me right now. During this bearish overtone for crypto, I'm absolutely ripping it in precious metals, commodities, commodity stocks, physical bullion. It's been a sight to see right now, and this looks to be just the beginning here, as we're having massive breakout attempts here across commodities. So I hope everybody's a part of this. I really tried to warn everybody with First Majestic because they're one of the main silver producers, and with what's going on with silver, I even put out that I took out a $360 call option at the $29 level in January on the SLV Silver Trust when it was at $21.80. I'm ripping it right now on that. So it's not just all crypto. You can balance this if you understand how to trade commodities and precious metals and also understand the stock market and crypto. These balance each other out. They balance each other out. So you should never have down days. I mean, they can happen, but there's a way to balance the market. And then when you make profits, to put that profitability, instead of just putting it into another crypto after you make money and watch it go down, you put it into a store of value or understand commodities that pay dividends. That's how I make my living, not just with crypto. But it definitely helps. It's my trading that helps me make my living. So with that being said, good morning. 10:26 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So as you're going through the comments, if you're new, old, if you've been here a while, or just getting started, we do positivity over negativity here because we understand from an emotional standpoint that our emotions, our lack of mental clarity and lack of mental focus and toughness can lead you down a road you don't want to go in trading. If you listen to every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there who tries to tell you you're wrong or tries to tell you some bullshit to try to make a little bit of money and put it into their pocket, you're going to get on the losing end every single time and twice on Sunday. If you pay attention to the pattern formations, the technical analysis, and also the news and charting alike, you can go ahead at a level that you could not even imagine. What we're watching on the charts today, it's nothing that's phasing us. We're not being tricked. Everything we've been seeing is popping up on the charts. Bitcoin right now is attempting to push out of this. It's got a long ways to go. But Bitcoin has bounced off of a bottom formation. And now the key is 67,422. Does Bitcoin get rejected at that pivot level? Or is Bitcoin going to bounce off of here now from the bottom, as it showed us this uptrending support at 64,623? And can we push past that mid-tier pivot point and push all the way back up to 70,829? That's the question we have this morning. And there's no possible way to answer this unless we are filling out this pattern formation, as we've already went resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support. Now logic says if you're playing the pattern, you go short, long, short, long. Like this is what it's looking at. Unless it breaks down, then you go short. But right now, if it played true, it would come back up here. And we'd be looking at a short run up here from the bottom of about 9% on Bitcoin. From current levels, about 6.2% still has to rally if it were to break to the top. Otherwise, this is a fake out. It's creating a head and shoulders pattern. So just be very aware of how quickly this can happen. And I know it doesn't look like it, But if this is actually creating, so that's like a right shoulder being formed, this would drop it, and then you could see the head and shoulders, or the topping reversal forming. So be very careful in that regard. With XRP, I want to show you one other chart perspective because I'm going to release this shortly. But we are still falling outside of this key pattern formation. We've hit the apex zone. This pattern started at the beginning of March of this year. The apex zone has been matched. So basically what this is telling us, we're in the overextended area now. And that's never a good thing if you can't break out. The overextended area is signifying now you've come into this inside out wedge. So even if you break up, you've got to get above this, and then you got to start transferring back up over 64 and above. But right now we've fallen into this kind of bearish zone, because now we can come up here, and if XRP gets rejected at 608, very bearish. Very bearish. So we need to come up here. We need the bulls to start taking control. The good news is right now is we've got kind of like a falling pattern, and it looks like it's holding support here. So if XRP holds this and Bitcoin gets hot, we could have a move here right now of about 6.8% just to the top of this resistance. If it does fall out, you're going to come down some 10 to or about 15% here. So that's what we're looking at here. If Bitcoin or if XRP loses 58 cents, you're looking at a 15% drop. If we can hold 58 cents, we can push up about 6.5% to try to retest that 60. First area is going to be 60.8 cents. The second area, and the most important area, is going to be right up here at that mid-tier cup handle resistance, right around 61.9 cents. So first resistance, if you're watching this morning, 60.8 cents. Second resistance, 61.9 cents. Unless you get on top of both of those, we're going to be in a very tough spot. We need to break 60.8 cents and push up to invalidate the bearish move down from the formation that started in March of this year. And then ultimately we need to get up not just above 61.9, but we need to work our way back up in a pretty quick fashion here to get back up to the handle resistance around 65 cents and start pushing out. Anything short of that, XRP is already signaling where it wants to go, and it's either 53.7 cents or it's signaling a retest of the handle support. So it is very dangerous this morning, but it's very big opportunity if it does push to the top side. So just consider everything I've said. And then XRP Healthcare, as I said yesterday, it gave an opportunity to buy. We talked about it during the live. It was either going to continue to break down from this 3.9 cents, which was a beautiful retracement as we talked about for the last couple days. On the 200-day was your first area to buy this next retracement. And it came down there at 3.9. I did. I bought another 1,900 and I put it to staking. So like I said, up until July of this year, end of July on MEXC, I'm going to continue to take advantage of that. And every opportunity it gives me. My average is somewhere around 2.85 cents. Don't even care about the average. I'm just trying to buy it as much as I can on a daily buying level. And every time it takes a massive dip, I'm going to buy it. Because I started buying it at 1.9 cents. And it had a nice drop of 20%. Held the 200-day and it told me, Tom, here you go. You take this. And then hopefully we'll ride this up to about that 565 and see what happens. And we know in time we'll eventually get a retracement. But you don't know where it's going to come. And as we know, this is very early in the project. And if this bull flag plays out, the next chance of retracement after this 200-day, if this plays out, because one could argue that this could be breaking out to a pretty big breakout. So let's just see what happens here. Let's pay our due diligence. But anybody who's in XRP Healthcare, I know you're fucking very happy, excuse my French, but you're ecstatic right now. As we started buying at 1.9, and it's just pretty crazy. I put out the buy alert with everybody around that 222 level, and we started watching it. It was actually a little bit lower, but it came up to 2.8, then down to 2.2, 2 cents, 2.4, 2.8, 3 cents, 2.1, 2.0, and it just kept bouncing back and forth. But right now, even in current times from 2.2, it's up 118 plus %. From the moment I started talking about it at 1.9, we're up about 130%. It's pretty crazy. up another 16.3% today. This is exactly what I've stated to everybody. XRP Healthcare is not owned by Ripple. Ripple does not even have a stake in it, which makes me even more excited. It is on the ledger, on the XRP ledger, but it doesn't have the price movements as XRP would. It has no correlation. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you got anything out of this update, please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this update. If you do appreciate my work, consider subscribing to the channel and joining the over 21,200 subscribers. If you're looking to trade XRP in the USA and you don't want to deal with the spot fees on the leverage and future in the spot trading, BITUNIX. It's in the video description below and our pinned comments. You don't need to do a VPN, as you shouldn't have to feel like a criminal to trade XRP because it's not illegal to own, despite what everybody says. And if you don't want to get slaughtered with fees, make sure you look at BITUNIX. And KYC is not necessary as long as you're just doing it from exchange to exchange on withdrawal and deposit. And then in the video description below, if you're looking for XRP Healthcare, MEXC is down there. If you're in the USA, you need a VPN. But if you've already signed up, you can use it till the end of July and be able to buy your MEXC or your XRP Healthcare. And don't forget to stake it in its wallet. The XRP Healthcare wallet, you get 20% over 6 months, 25% over a year. So have a blessed morning, everybody. Hashtag be better, do better if you made it till the end.